All right, today we're going to go over computer software. So we've talked about hardware in the past, and hardware is, again, anything that you can physically touch on the computer. Not only is it the monitor and keyboard and mouse, but it's also the components that are inside of the system unit, your motherboard, your memory. So that is hardware, and software are the programs that run on your computers. All right, algorithms have to be written in order for software to be developed. There's our career paths that are available for software engineers if you're interested in developing software and different programs that run on a computer. You could look into becoming a software engineer and developing that content. But algorithms have to be written, and we'll cover algorithms and binary numbers later on in our class. But algorithms have to be written in order to for a software program to be developed, and then those algorithms are turned into computer language and computer coding languages in order to develop that process. Software development is a multi-step process. It does take a while to work on a program and develop ideas, plan out those ideas, code those ideas, and then test those applications to see how they work. Okay. There are two different types of software. You have application software and you have system software. And underneath the umbrella of system software, you have operating system programs, and then you have utilities. And we'll break those down each separately in just a moment. So again, here's just a visual of those two types of software. You can see over here on the right, we have a whole list of application software that we'll go over and provide examples of in just a second. And then on the left, we have system software, which includes our operating system that we'll talk about. And then you have utility software that runs on the computer that help your computer function properly. To begin with, we'll go over application software. Application software is any kind of software that a user uses on the computer. So think of apps, because that's where the word apps come from. You have apps on your phone, you have apps on devices. These are programs that you can open and you can use to help yourself be more productive. For example, PowerPoint, Word, a graphics editor like Photoshop. All these are application software programs that a user like yourself can use to get work done or to do activities. So that is considered application software, any of the apps that you can open on your device that help you be more productive. Productivity software can be defined as any type of application software that has the potential to help people get their work done more efficiently. So instead of writing out something, you can open up Microsoft Word and type up your document. All right, our other category, we had application software and operating or system software. And underneath our system software, we have operating systems, also known as OS. Every device has an OS. If you are on a Windows computer, then you have Windows operating system or a PC. If you are using a Mac, then you have a Mac OS for Apple products. And that is, the operating system is the interface between the user and the computer. So this is what you actually see as the user and what you can click on as the user when you're operating your device. Again, Mac OS is for Apple products. You have DOS, one of the first operating systems that was available. Windows is a Microsoft product. Unix and Linux are other operating systems that are available. And you guys will do some research on operating systems later on this week. All right, underneath your system software, you had operating systems, and then you have utility software. Now, utility software is anything that will help your device function better. So any antivirus protection, any kind of disk cleanup, backing up your hard drive programs, these are considered utility software. So anything that can help your computer function better is considered utility software. When you hear the term user interface, so we'll kind of transition over to user interface. It's the content that the user sees on the screen and what the user interacts with on the screen. Back a long time ago, there used to be command line, which was your black screen with your white or your green text. There were no pictures to click on. And then Windows developed your GUI interface, which is your graphical user interface, where you utilize a mouse and you can point and click on icons. So to go into in depth a little more with those two different interfaces, again, early computers used command line, and there's a graphic of what command line looked like. You typically don't use a mouse. You navigate with the keys on your keyboard. The function keys were used a lot, which are at the top of your keyboard for command line interface. You have to memorize a lot of code and a lot of shortcuts. There are no graphics on this one. It's not colorful. It was very taxing on the eyes. It took a lot of user memory to remember the codes and to navigate throughout command line interface. And then Windows developed a GUI editor, which is GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. It came with menus, drop-down menus. The mouse was first developed to use where you can scroll your mouse over the screen and click on icons to open applications. And so this was much more user-friendly. And with the development of your GUI interface, home computers became much more popular because they were easier to understand, easier to use, and more efficient than your command line prompts. One thing you're going to do after for one of your assignments this week, and you can go ahead and start thinking about this, is you're going to research the operating systems macOS, Windows, Android, and iOS. Now, the first two are for your computers, and then Android and iOS are for your mobile devices and your cell phones. So when you do your research on these, you're going to determine 2 or 3 advantages of each operating system and 2 or 3 disadvantages of each operating system, because you're going to use that content in an activity that you're going to complete for Thursday and Friday. All right. And that is an overview of your system software.